very great accomplishment, of course, in that tournament. And now very strong. He's back again, pun intended, with, as we were saying, a different team.
Yeah, it's a whole different team, but a really nice approach to the meta game. Once again, he's running that Tapu Lele plus Ultra Necrozma paired up with a Groudon, and he got that Excelgor, which is a really nice pick, and usually a pick for just certain matchups, but thanks to that Unburden ability and usually the Psychic Seed, it gets really, really fast and outspeeds even Choice Scarf
wow,
Pokemon.
and we'll have a mirror here with the Tapu Lele and Ultra Necrozma core, and just like Jonathan, it looks like we're going to see a Jumpluff. So, yeah, 2 Pokemon that can double their speed. Jumpluff needs the Desolate Land ability from Groudon on the field. And then the Excelgor, you were mentioning it, Unburden, an ability that doubles your speed if you consume an item, and you pair that up with, usually with a Psychic Seed. Since, well, with Tapu Lele, you're guaranteed to activate that item, and then it will double Excelgor's speed, and it's gonna be super fast. So, wow, this, I don't even know how to approach this matchup. Usually, these Tapu Lele and Ultra Necrozma teams are a little bit of a like anti-metagame choice, where you really try to think about what the most common teams are, and usually there's a lot of teams that rely on Xerneas as their main damage output. So you really focus on those matchups, but now in the mirror match, I don't know how much both of these guys have trained for that, and it might turn really weird pretty fast.
Oh yeah, this could be really interesting, but we do see Salamence and the Necrozma on James' side of the field, and the Jumpluff and Necrozma on Juan's side on the field. So both opting for kind of a speed control. So James wants to get off that Tailwind maybe as soon as possible, but on the other hand is open to get spored by sleep powdered by that Jumpluff. Whereas Jumpluff doesn't have that speed control. You can't set Tailwind, right?
Yep. But what it can do, of course, is launch those sleep powders, as you were saying, and looks like maybe that Salamence is a little bit of a counter, or a soft counter, to a potential Groudon and Jumpluff lead, because with Intimidate it lowers the damage output of Groudon, doesn't take that much damage, so even if it was put to sleep, it could just stay on the field for a while until it wakes up. But nope, we're seeing the Necrozma for Juan as well, and now since both of them have Dawn Wings Necrozma, you gotta wonder whether they are running something like maybe the Moongeist Beam, which is not a guaranteed move, but sometimes, you can definitely run it. However, we're just going to see Protect coming out from Juan's Necrozma, and a Photon Geyser into the Jumpluff, I would assume. Yep, there it is.
Oh yeah, and if that Salamence is also going for a attack, there we go. Hyper Voice coming out and taking out that Jumpluff, which is a really good turn for James. Taking that early knockout on the support Pokemon on Juan's side of the field. He'll add his Necrozma in the normal form, probably maybe because he wants to have like the same attacking bonus on his Moongeist Beam for his own Necrozma to take out James' Necrozma in one hit. This might be one point.
Or you might want to keep the speed low for a potential Trick Room setup. However, either way, like, it's always kind of bad when you lose a Pokemon without really doing anything, but, in a mirror match, it's even worse, because that means your opponent has, like, the exact same tools that you have, plus an extra Pokemon. So, Tapu Lele is now coming in from Juan, and we're expecting it to carry that Choice Scarf, so it should be the fastest Pokemon on the field right now. And with, its Fairy-type attacks threatening both the Dragon-type Pokemon on James' side of the field. But, it can only KO one of them, probably. So, Juan really has to make the right call this turn, because James could just protect one of his Pokemon. And then, if Juan attacked into that, it would be really bad for him.
Yeah, this is like this is what happens at mirror matches. Either it's going to be really slowly, or it's just trading Pokemon left and right. And this is what we see here. Tapu Lele going straight for the Moonblast into the Salamence and taking it out in one hit straight in return.
Called it correctly, and the Moongeist Beam, okay, so Juan doesn't actually get to do any damage with that move, but James now has confirmation, knows that Moongeist Beam is a factor on his opponent's Necrozma. And, there you go. Brings in his own Tapu Lele to make this a true mirror match. And now both of them have lost a Pokemon without really doing too much. So if both of them have, like, Groudon in the back, it's, like, really, really similar. We have already seen Tapu Lele of Juan is locked into Moonblast, and it has that Choice Scarf, so let's see how much damage does it do to Necrozma.
Not quite enough, not quite enough. And we see the second Tapu Lele. This time it's James Tapu Lele going for Moonblast into Necrozma. Not quite enough neither. And Necrozma going for a Moonblast Beam. Is it going to be into the Tapu Lele, Marcus?
Yeah, let's see. Yep, it is. And with a super effective hit, not quite enough. Even with a Neuro Force, which of course boosts the attacking power on super effective targets. Another Moonblast Beam. Well, both of them really... Oh, wow! A true mirror match, and both of them going for the exact same move. And yeah, everyone is just hanging in there as if nothing really happened. But, well, in reality, a lot happened.
Yeah.
We also got some information as for the speed tiers here, as Juan's Tapu Lele was the first to move between the two Tapu Lele. And then James's Necrozma was the first to move between the Necrozma. So that is something that they have to keep in mind now. So Juan could potentially try to target down his opponent's Tapu Lele instead of the Necrozma this turn, and that is exactly what he is going to do. So things will change up a little bit, and now James has to target down Necrozma if he does not want to fall behind in the Pokemon count.
And I guess this is what he does right now. Yeah, there you go. You said it correctly, Marcus. Well, we could still potentially have like speed ties, but now since we had 2 turns showing the potential speed stats, it's pretty much set in stone. And there we go, one Groudon,
and
second
another one.
Groudon.
Well, of course. Well, now we gotta see who is faster between the Groudon.
Yeah.
And that might be the deciding factor in this game, honestly, because well, Juan's Tapu Lele is outspeeding the Necrozma, so it could take care of that, but Tapu Lele does not do a lot of damage to Groudon, so Tapu Lele kind of forced, I would say, to try and knock out the Necrozma, but then Groudon is open to attack whatever it wanted to, and well, if James's Groudon is faster, what he can do is just go protect his Necrozma this turn and knock out Tapu Lele of his opponent, and then next turn go for Light That Burns the Sky on his opponent's Groudon to get the knockout there.
Ah, yeah, see where you're going.
So, yeah, it's going to be really important to see which Groudon is faster and whether they can even knock out the opponent's Groudon, because what you can do is train it in a specific way that it is able to withstand even the powerful Earth power. And I guess that is what it's coming down to.
Yeah, I think the route is said like what you said, Marcus. Like, yeah, Tapu Lele on Juan's side wanted to take out that Necrozma, going for a protect. James is going for that safe fire punch to have that 100% accuracy to take out that Tapu Lele.
And a sword stance coming out by Juan. I like the attempt, him trying to set himself up for a victory here, but since James's Necrozma went for the protect, it looks like James can just go for Light That Burns the Sky this turn, and even if Groudon on Juan's side protects to burn that Z move, well, the next turn he goes for
Earth Power, for example.
Yeah, or any move that he has, Photon Geyser or Earth Power to do a lot of damage. And Groudon would need to take 2 attacks, and nope, there it is.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah, I guess Juan was probably hoping that James goes for a different move this turn, expecting the Protect to come out, but you really do not really have, well, you're not in a situation where you are forced to make a prediction this turn, because even if Juan's Groudon protected, Light That Burns the Sky is so powerful that even through the protect it would do a little bit of chip damage. So yeah, no need for James to take a risk there, and he's just going to fire off that super powerful Z move, boosted by the Psychic Terrain.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, that might be enough to just get the clean knockout.
Yeah, but I really like how both Juan and James approached the mirror match at the exactly same way.
Yeah.
Like this shows like how close they are really compared like players.
Yep.
Like James is a well-accomplished player, Masters division, and Juan is pretty new to Masters, but he got the same way figured out as James did, which is really impressive. So it's not over yet, guys. It's not over yet.
Yeah, however, in the end, James is the one who comes out on top, and I think that, second to last turn where Juan was trying to go for the Sword Dance setup, maybe he needed to try and knock out Groudon of his opponent. But yeah, didn't happen. However, we got some information, as we were saying, Moongeist Beam on both the Necrozma, and then Juan's Tapu Lele is the faster between the Tapu Lele, and James' Groudon outsped his opponent's Groudon. So, with that information, is there anything that both of them could try and do differently?
Well, to be honest, it's really hard approaching a mirror match like this.
Yeah.
The both players obviously got way more training with that mirror because, well, they face it every now and then, well, on training mode, on battle spot and stuff like that.
Yep.
It's hard outside, but it's huge. I think the benefit from the Groudon being faster is way bigger than the benefit from Tapu Lele being faster.
Yeah, especially considering that we have seen Moonblast does failed to pick up the KO on Necrozma, and it also does not KO Tapu Lele of your opponent. So, while with Groudon, if you're faster, you can really get those one-hit knockouts potentially. Tapu Lele usually mostly there for that Psychic Terrain support and maybe doing some chip damage here and there. We are seeing Tapu Lele coming out for Juan as a lead Pokemon now, whereas James just sticks to what he brought in the first game. And now I think this maybe is favoring Juan a little bit, because Tapu Lele, with the Moonblast, is threatening a KO on the Salamence. And would also do a lot of damage to the Necrozma if it went into the Ultra Necrozma.
But James does see it coming and does not want to risk the Salamence going down in the first turn, switching in that Primal Groudon to take that predicted Moonblast. So if Juan now decided to, I might do something different here.
Yeah, he could try and go for a prediction.
Yeah.
And he could try target down the Necrozma. So let's see. Well, Ultra Necrozma is coming up for James. We have seen Moongeist Beam for both of these players.
Yes.
James's Necrozma was faster than Juan's in the first game, but if they are trained the same way, then this might just have been a speed tie. Except James, though, just playing very, well, passively, trying to reposition himself, seeing as Juan kind of got the lead Pokemon correct, or he had, like, definitely more damage potential on the board.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a combination of Moonblast and Moongeist Beam, but with the Protect and the Switch, James not taking that much damage.
But I still like Juan's position here a bit better. Like, he already got Necrozma in Ultra Form, which means that he can go for the C move already, threatening the Groudon now. That Tapu Lele is still locked into Moonblast, so Necrozma wants to stay in the normal form.
And is this a double up? Looks like it. Moongeist Beam coming out, and then that, together with the Moonblast is enough to get the knockout. I think James, he wanted to try and stay in the Dawn Wings form because, of course, Moonblast is not super effective against that, but Moongeist Beam, of course, is. So, wow. Precipice Blades fails to get the knockout on Tapu Lele, so Juan, once again, really coming out on top of this turn. As we have seen before, in this mirror match, it's like, if it's not a KO, then the damage doesn't matter that much. Of course, now another Precipice Blades would be enough to get the double knockout here. So James still definitely not out of it, as well with the Tapu Lele that he just sent in, with the Choice Scarf he can outspeed and is threatening the knockout on Necrozma of Juan.
Yeah, especially in both Pokemon, like he can get the knockout on Juan's Tapu Lele
or that
as well. There even may be Dazzling Gleam or something to threaten a knockout on both and capitalize with Groudon with a potential substitute or something. There you go.
Yeah, Dazzling Gleam is what we're seeing. And that will definitely knock out the Tapu Lele at this range.
Yes. And now James can use some move like Sword Stance.
Nicely done.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, that is really what he can do. Even though he lost his Dawn Wings Necrozma, that allowed him to bring in his Tapu Lele kind of safely. And with that Dazzling Gleam, he's threatening a double knockout that turn. So Juan was kind of forced to protect with Necrozma here. And even if he didn't, it was a free turn for Groudon either way. And we have already seen that James's Groudon outsped his opponent's Groudon. So that Sword Dance was just like even more safe. We've seen that in the previous game where Juan was the one setting up the Sword Dance, but he was slower between the two. So there, it didn't really help him too much. But as we were saying, James, with his Groudon being faster, most likely, that means that he can really capitalize on that Sword Dance boost a lot.
I really like that play. Like, he brought himself into a really good position where Juan is now on the back foot. You send in a Salamence.
Yeah, that's what you need here, I think.
Yeah. James Tapu Lele is still locked into Dazzling Gleam, so you are open to maybe just sending the Salamence, taking 2 Dazzling Gleams, just intimidating that Groudon, but if the Precipice Blades hit.
It comes out and connects.
It does. This should be enough.
It is only at +1,
Yeah.
one boosted stage of attack, but well, enough for that knockout. And James looking very close for another top cut at this tournament. And Juan, he switched up his plan a little bit, brought Salamence this time around, but even with that Intimidate, James's Groudon is just too powerful and just got the knockout there. And now, well, Tapu Lele is still equipped with a Choice Scarf, still locked into Dazzling Gleam, and it's up against 2 Dragon-type Pokemon, and well, I guess we can all tell how that is going to go. And it looks like James back for, well, yet another tournament. He will advance to the top 8. Now Juan, of course, trying to maybe the Necrozma can take one of those Dazzling Gleams.
Yeah, but even if it does, like, James probably doubles up into Necrozma. And to secure the win. And I really like how James capitalized on knowing that his Groudon is the faster one. And he knew what to do, like setting up one Sword Dance and then get it rolling.
Yeah, and even though both of them brought the exact same for Pokemon, it looked really like a dominant game from James. He used the information he got in the first game. He knew that his Groudon was faster, and yeah, with that Choice Scarf, Tapu Lele really putting on a lot of pressure on Juan's team, who will probably finish in the top 16, so definitely for your first big tournament as Master, just aging up. A really good achievement for him, and we can expect great things from him in the future. But James back once again, yet another tournament where he makes it really far, and we will see him tomorrow.